Hey everybody, it's Richard S. and welcome back to Richard's Vinyl Tap House. Wanted to talk about my March vinyl pickups. There were a lot of them. This was a busy month for me. I found some new releases. I found some older things that I've wanted to pick up for a long time. Saved a few dollars here and there. Hey, let's jump right into it. First album, y'all know I'm into Bob Mould. Bob Mould's new one called Here We Go Crazy. Emma and I did a whole kind of song by song review talking about this album. Still solid on my list. I played this quite a lot. Pretty hard hitting for Bob Mould, but to say that he's always pretty hard hitting and a little bit politically charged here and there. Super solid album from Bob, and it's going to probably be placing on one of my better albums of the year. I'll tell you that already. Another new one is by a group called Pale Blue Eyes, New Place. This is a kind of dream poppy not jangle pop, that's later. Dream pop, but uplifting. It's not that sort of hushy vocals. This is kind of bubbly and it kind of keeps you going. It's really good. I would call this almost like road trip music. It is a husband wife pair with a bassist, so it's a trio. Hey, another trio one. Some really good songs. I picked their last album, the album before this. I can't remember what it's called. Before this very solid album from Pale Blue Eyes out of the UK. We also have. Now, if you remember last year, I picked up some stuff from Thus Love. That is this album that I rated super high. All Pleasure. Love this album. I wanted to backtrack and see what their first album was all about. So, Thus Love are kind of alt indie, yeah, of that vein. I really like their song structures, their singing, the musicianship is really tight. So this was a good backtrack going into their first album. Now I am a solid Thus Love fan. I think they're on tour right now in the UK, so my British friends, look these guys up because they're really good. I would love to see them. Now, this was one of a group of albums that I bought from one of my favorite eBay retailers, kind of a whole bunch of things, all brand new. Minor Threat. This is a double EP affair where it's like two EPs from the early 80s slammed together on one album. How in the world is this like 12 songs long fitting on one album? Most of these songs track in at like a minute and a half. Hard hitting, DC 80s punk. What more can you say? Fast and Furious, Ian McKay style. Gotta love it. I also picked up two Sparks albums. I've wanted this one for ages. This is Propaganda from Sparks. I have some old other Sparks, kind of the later era. This is very much more art rock ish end of Sparks, but I also picked up the ever popular Kimono in my house. These two are just like a great companion piece for kind of getting to get the overall feel of what Sparks are all about. Really interesting. I love this album cover. I'm almost tempted to get another one so I can hang it up on the wall. Good artwork. Some darker music. Last year I picked up the first album by this band called Have a Nice Life. Very dark and dirgy, kind of reminds me of 80s Dead Can Dance. Some of that old 4AD Lonely as Eyesore, dark, almost goth, but not really. Because there's like shoegaze elements in here, there's spoken word, sounds, noise. It's very interesting. So this is the second album from them called An Unnatural World. Came out in the mid 2000s. Their first album, this one is called Death Consciousness. I talked about this before a little bit. This is kind of considered a classic because it was kind of a slow burner and it didn't pick up any steam of interest from fans, and then it became like a cult classic. So this is kind of an extension of this. I really, really like this. It's interesting, as dark and gloomy as it sounds and sort of looks. But it's definitely an interesting album from Have a Nice Life. I have wanted this album on vinyl forever. Well, I should say since I first heard about it. It's a one-off. This band never released another album after Toy Matinee. Toy Matinee is kind of a, how do we describe this? Pop prog. It sounds sort of like 80s, Yes, 90125, sort of that upbeat prog. Great musicianship, really interesting song structures. The album cover does not tell you what's on this, but yeah, check out that very late '80s looking band. Everybody but the Kitchen Sink is on here. Sheryl Crow is on here. Julian Lennon guest vocals on here. It's pretty fascinating. So this is Toy Matinees. Definitely worth picking up. That's a music on vinyl release that I found. Now, this was a find. I went to Twist and Shout. I had that meet and greet with Steve Carlson, and we did a shop around. The next week, I went to go pick up, I think I picked up Bob Mould album, but I also picked up a used copy of OMD's Dazzle Ships. This is the UK original from the 80s. I absolutely love this album, but this, unlike the I Could See You, unlike the US edition, is a gatefold. It has a kind of the die-cut portholes, if you will, for the album cover. Minty copy of this. My original is over in that bank of records over there. Is the US Epic release that looks like I played Frisbee with it. This is pristine. It's like near mint, and it was dirt cheap. It was like $10. I will gladly pay that for this. This is one of my favorite OMD albums. It is not for everybody. This is the album that kind of polarized their fan base and made the sales went, wow, no, we don't like this. Then it became another cult classic type album, and this album is pretty well sought after now. And they also did a reissue with bonus tracks a few years ago. I should probably track that down. Now, thanks to your friend and mine, Sam St. John, I got back on board with Chime School. He kind of reminded me, it's like, oh yeah, I loved listening to this album when it was released several years ago. Kind of forgot about it, and then I re-listened to it after Sam was talking about it on his channel. Decided, you know what, it's time to pick this up, and it was fairly inexpensive. I think I got this and the newer one off of Amazon for pretty cheap, if I'm quite honest. I know Sam has some different takes on kind of what this sounds like. To me, it sounds like lost REM albums. The vocals are very Michael Stipe-ish. The musicianship is it has a REM feel to it. It's not completely that, but it's definitely, that on that Jangle-Pop, the poppier side of what REM were doing, beyond like Fables of the Reconstruction type thing. And this one is an extension of that one. This is their new one called The Boy Who Ran the Paisley Hotel. What a great title for an album. So yeah, good stuff from Chime School. That is all I got, but considering that was all I bought in 1 month, that's almost as many albums as I think I bought most of last year collectively. Not quite. I'm sure I bought more than that. But anyway, March is past us. I hope it went in like a lion, out like a lamb for you, however it works. But now we're into April, and this is not an April Fool's joke. So, have a great month, and we will talk to you soon. Take care from Richard's Vinyl Tap House. Bye.